Now I see some movement. Earlier I was wondering why there is no movement. These bars are not wasn't moving earlier. Now I notice this is not pressed. Okay. So give me the data.
June 24, 1969.
June 24,
1969. 7:10 a.m.
7:10 a.m.
Hyderabad, India.
Hyderabad, India.
So for last 2 days I am looking at this chart. The person has come.
Last 2 days you are seeing this chart?
Yeah, last 2 days I am analyzing the chart basically.
Okay, how should I save it?
Shashi, vehicle problem.
Shashi, vehicle problem. Okay.
And he has some problems since last 1 year.
Yeah.
He has some inexplicable worries and he's in the mood to go back to India.
Okay, one second. Inexplicable worries for 1 year.
Yes. And he is in the mood to go back.
Today's date is what?
May
05 2009 May 4. Okay.
And
Want to go back to India?
yeah, June 3rd or something he booked the ticket.
One second, go back to India. Book tickets? When?
On June 1st week. For permanently relocate to India.
Okay.
And then 2 days back he had a car accident where he hit some cyclist. So, and,
Okay.
and he has seen a couple of issues also with the vehicle. Like he missed 2 big accidents. He was about to hit some pedestrian.
He has problem with cyclists and pedestrians.
And job also is not, his boss is troubling and
Job also boss troubling.
troubling, and he approached me when this will end and whether he can go back to India peacefully. Because all this happening at the end of the year where he closed down everything.
Okay. So the data is June 24, 1969, 7:10 p.m.
AM, sorry.
AM.
AM.
Okay, sorry. 7:10 a.m. June 24, 1969, 7:10 a.m. Indian Standard Time, 5 hours 30 minutes east of GMT. The place is Hyderabad, India. 78 degrees 28 minutes east, 70 degrees 23 minutes north. And the history is this person has been having worries for 1 year and he wants to go back to India. He booked his ticket for the first week of June to permanently relocate to India. But 2 days back he had a car accident. He hit a cyclist and he missed a few big accidents earlier also when he was about to hit a pedestrian. So in general he had some problems, and for the last 1 year he has some inexplicable worries. He can't say exactly what the problem is, but he is not happy. And also at job his boss is very troublesome. And he is wondering when will all this end? Will I be able to go back to India peacefully?
Okay, three dashas are applicable: Vimshottari, Shashtiyaini and Shatabdika.
Yeah.
And
So Shatabdika also applicable? Yeah, Lagna is in Thomasu third padam. So Lagna is in Nava Vargottama. Okay.
for me, yeah, because of
Lagna is in Vargottama. Lagna is in Punosu third padam, which is in Gemini Rashi as well as Gemini Navamsha. Do you have June 24, 1969? 7:10 a.m. You got it? Okay, good. Okay, so the first question to be answered is, Ramakrishna Rao Garu is wondering, which dasha should we use? Of course, Vimshottari is generically applicable. Sun is in Lagna, which means, if Sun is in Lagna, what is the dasha that is applicable? Shashtihayani dasha. And Lagna is in Vargottama, then what is the dasha applicable? Shatabdika dasha. So which one should we apply? If we just use the thumb rules may or may not work always. But if we just use the thumb rules we learned, what are the guidelines? See how probable the dasha is. Look at the condition of the dasha. Is it 1/6 or 1/12? What is the probability? The less likely a dasha is to be applied, give preference to that dasha. The second criterion was, look at the years. A dasha that has more years is preferred. So here if you compare what is the probability of Shashtihayani dasha? Sun being in Lagna 1/12. And what is the probability of Shatabdika dasha? Lagna in Vargottama. Again, what is the probability? Lagna in Vargottama. Why same thing? Why same thing? For any Lagna, for any given any Rashi, Lagna being in a given Rashi, how many Navamsas are possible? 9. Not all the 12 is a condition. If Lagna is Aries, only Aries to Sagittarius are possible. For this Gemini Lagna, only Libra to Gemini are possible. So like that there are 9 possibilities. Out of them, one will be Vargottama. Is there a Vargottama Rashi in all Rashis? I mean Vargottama Navamsha. I mean, is there a Navamsha where there will be Vargottama for all Rashis? Yes. For Aries it is the first one. For Taurus it is the middle one. For Gemini it is the last one. For Cancer it is the first one, Leo middle, Virgo last one. Like that there is one Navamsha. So basically probability is 1/9. So probability is higher for Sun, for the Shashtihayani. But Shashtihayani is only 60 years, but this is Shatabdika is 100 years. So combining both of them, probably based on the thumb rule, Shatabdika dasha is preferred. But the proof of the pudding is in eating it. So, I mean, there may be other criteria like is Sun really strong, he is so far away from Lagna, Lagna is at one end of the sign, Sun is at the other end, Sun is at 9 degrees, whereas Lagna is at 27 degrees. So is Sun really close to Lagna? Maybe not. So Sun's influence on Lagna is less. You could even say he is in the 12th house. If you just take 15, 15. Right. So the thing is, maybe that's not really as appropriate as Shatabdika dasha. So let us see Shatabdika dasha first.
Actually, Shashtihayani was not matching that actual.
Yeah, he says that he tried to look at the events and he was saying that Shashtihayani dasha doesn't match. Let us look at Shatabdika dasha. And do we have any events apart from the last 1 year? Do you know when he got married or when he came here? Tell us. Tell us the events. When did he get married?
He got married in 1996 September.
1996 September. Okay.
6, 7.
Date we don't care. 6, okay.
Around 6 that type. And
Yeah.
he started working as a consulting. He got job in 2002, but he became independent contractor consulting since 2004. He's computer engineer, but
Okay. Computer engineer. He started working as a consultant in 2004. Career started in 2002. Okay, let's look at the marriage first. 96 September, right? 96 September.
So we are looking at Shatabdika dasha, right?
We are looking at Shatabdika dasha.
So one more reason I started looking at Shatabdika dasha because both Mercury in Navamsha is in Lagna, so that I thought it is more strong. So
Mercury what?
the Vargottama is comparatively. I mean, there is another reason why I chose this dasha is
Yeah.
Mercury is in Lagna. The Vargottama is happening and Mercury is in Lagna, so that means Navamsha Lagna is strong.
Yeah.
As well as
So you are saying Lagna is Vargottama and Lagna Lord is also Vargottama. Is that what you are saying? Is that what you are saying?
that might be Mercury Lagna later than Navamsha.
Yeah, Mercury is actually in the 12th house.
Mercury is in Vargottama and Lagna is in Vargottama. No, what I got this. There is another reason like Sun in Lagna in Navamsha and for me Mercury is in Lagna in Navamsha. Mercury in Lagna in Navamsha for me. For you?
For you, how?
In Lagna in my.
Wait. You have Mercury in Lagna in Navamsha?
Yeah, because of my.
Actually, he is very close. He is 5 Navamsha difference. He is 3 minutes away. Okay, whatever the reason, let us say okay. Now, okay, fine. And when did his career start, you said?
2002.
Career started in 2002. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, fine. So let's see Shashtihani Dasha first. Does it make any sense? He got married in 96 June. Does it make sense? Let's go to Navamsha.
September.
7th last. Yeah, 96 September, right?
Yeah.
September 6th or so, he said. That's Guru Dasha, Guru Mahadasha, Guru Antardasha, right?
You are looking at Shashtihani?
Shashtihani. Yeah. Yeah, because he thought Shashtihani Dasha is not working. I just want to see if that is true.
I mean, I didn't check the past one because recent
Okay.
problems would have.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come to that. So Shashtihani Dasha, what Antardasha gave marriage? Jupiter. Jupiter is the 7th Lord.
7th Lord in 9th house.
7th Lord in the 9th house. And he is in Upada in Navamsha. In Rasi also he is the 7th Lord. So he can and he is Jewel Lord also, he is aspecting Jewel. Upada is in Pisces, Jupiter is aspecting Pisces. So he is a strong candidate for giving marriage. So Shashtihani Dasha makes sense. But you said, when did the career start?
2002. That is.
Yeah. So again, Guru Dasha.
Yeah, Guru and Venus.
Jupiter, Venus career started. Does it make sense? Let's go to Dashamsha. Jupiter is the 10th Lord in Rasi chart, aspecting the 10th house, right? In the Dashamsha also, he is the 10th Lord aspecting 10th house. He is Lagna Lord also. And he is in Arul Lagna, the status as a working person. So, Guru Dasha is a strong candidate for giving career. And why Venus? Venus Antardasha. Does Venus Antardasha giving career make sense?
Where is the Arul Lagna here?
AL.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Venus is in 9th house. He is 3rd and 8th lord.
Yeah. 3rd and 8th Lord should give retirement. Why is he giving career? Well, you can explain it saying, from the Dasha Lord Jupiter, he is the 5th Lord. But then he is in Manakaraka Sthana from Dasha Lord. So he's not really a strong candidate to give good career. Okay, it's not really making that much sense. And from 2004 you said he went into consulting. Does it make sense?
2004 is Rahu.
Yeah. Jupiter Rahu going into consulting. Rahu is aspecting, see, Shashtihani Dasha, Ketu doesn't have a Dasha. Right? So Rahu will give Ketu results. And where is Ketu placed? 3rd house. What are the houses that show consulting, independent work, etc.? Kamatrikona. 3rd, 7th and 11th. 3rd house is the house of initiative. You want more money, you take initiative. You want to be in charge of what to do, instead of somebody else directing you. Short-term projects also are also from the 3rd house. So 3rd house is the house of consulting work, and 7th house. And also for business also 7th house is the house of business. So Ketu is the candidate here really. And that Ketu doesn't have a Dasha here in Shashtihani Dasha. So Rahu gives Ketu results in the scheme. So in Rahu and the Dasha, giving independent work as a consultant, that does make sense, doesn't it? So the thing is, we can't really say that Shashtihani Dasha is not working.
Not working. I'm not comfortable because not all may.
Okay, what else do you know? What other event do you know?
Rahu, for example, 2004,
Yeah.
is the 12th Lord and being in the 9th house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't apply that Ketu can take Rahu. So
Yeah. Ketu is the 9th Lord of fortune in the 3rd house of initiative and also independent work, independence. So Rahu is giving Ketu results.
I look at the other angle saying that he is no job actually.
Mm-hmm.
You should not put him any job because Rahu to take
Okay.
only Rahu Dasha.
Okay. Now currently what is the period running? And when, do you know when he came to US?
Around 97, 98 only.
97, 98. Okay, 97, 98. What Dasha was running based on this? Yeah, Guru Ravi or Guru Puja. Does it make? Is it possible that he would go to a faraway country in that period?
That is Jalapatana.
You can see all the Sahama, but just they are more important in Tithi Pravesh. But just look, you don't know the exact times, so we can't really look at Tithi Pravesh. So let's just look at the period and Chaturthamsa. Chaturthamsa is the chart, right? Right? And of course, in the Rashi, if you see, Guru is the Badhaka Lord. Who can give foreign journey? Badhaka Lord, 9th Lord, 12th Lord, or planets having to do with 9th and 12th houses, and Rahu is the Karaka. And here, the 9th Lord is Rahu. One of the lords of 9th is Rahu, Aquarius. He is in Pisces, in a watery sign. In general, watery signs are conducive to going abroad. So 9th Lord Rahu and Karaka for foreign journey Rahu is in Pisces. And Jupiter is his dispositor and aspecting him. So Jupiter has candidacy. Moreover, Jupiter is the Badhaka Lord. So for this reason, Jupiter Dasha can take the person abroad. And if you, instead of Rashi, if you directly go to the Chaturthamsa, if you look at the Chaturthamsa, in Chaturthamsa also the same thing. Jupiter is, in this case, he is the dispositor of 12th Lord. Rahu is the 12th Lord. He is in watery sign. See, 12th Lord is in Lagna, Rahu. And he is being aspected by Jupiter. Jupiter is aspecting Rahu. So, and Jupiter is in Badhakasthana. So again, he has a link to Badhakasthana with Rahu and also with 12th house instead of 9th. So if you look at Rashi and Chaturthamsa both, Jupiter is a strong candidate for taking the person abroad. So Jupiter Dasha can take it. Why was it, when did he come, you said, 97 or 98?
Approximately, I don't exactly know, but during that time, 96, 97 after marriage.
After marriage. So 97, 98, that time. Okay. See, 97 is possible. Sun could have taken him. But Mars is even stronger. If you look at Mars, I would have actually expected Mars, because in the Chaturthamsa, Mars is the 9th Lord in the, Mars is the dispositor of Badhaka Lord, he is the 9th Lord and he is in the 12th house. So Mars Santadasha has a stronger chance of getting him. Now what is the Dasha running right now? And he has boss problems now, right? And vehicle problems. Let's look at boss problems first. Jupiter Dasha is good for career. Jupiter is with Mercury, he is the 10th Lord aspecting 10th and all that. But Sun Dasha, how is it for career? Sun Dasha is running now. Can Sun Dasha give boss problems? Look at the Dashamsa for career, profession. In the Dashamsa, where is Sun? Sun is in one house in 6th house. That is extremely strong. So Sun Dasha should be good. But who is he with? Gulika and Saturn. In D10, Dashamsa. So is it possible that there will be political tensions? Right? So Sandasha, basically once Sandasha came in 2005, things are a little rough. And what is the Antardasha running right now? Moon Antardasha is running right now. How is Moon Antardasha? Moon is the 5th Lord. What does 5th Lord show? No, 5th Lord is not change. It is recognition, fame, etc., following, and also emotional stability. Huh? Any chart, 5th house doesn't show change. 8th house shows change. When somebody is looking for a job, we look at 5th house because that is recognition. Somebody looked at your resume and recognized your ability and gave you a chance. So we say Lagna and 5th house are good for getting a new job. But the thing is, 5th house is, when the 5th Lord Dasha comes, it doesn't mean he will change job. Change is shown by 8th, 12th, all the Dusthanas, especially 8th and A8, they will show change. So here, Moon is the Lord of the 5th house of emotional stability, etc. The sense of fulfillment, emotional fulfillment of the person. And that planet, and also he is the Karaka for mental peace. He is eclipsed by Rahu, the 12th Lord. Right? And What does 12th house show? It shows loss and also sense of loss. Thinking that you are losing something. You may or may not be losing, but thinking that you are losing is also 12th house. So 12th lord and 8th lord of Venus. So 8th lord and 12th lord, two Dusthana lord are hammering moon, and both are enemies of moon. Neither really likes moon. Both. It's not like Mars and Sun or Mars and Jupiter are affecting moon. It's basically moon and Venus and Rahu are affecting moon from the opposite camp. So moon is very bad. Pardon me?
Mars Venus Parivartana is there.
Yes, yes. If the Parivartana is triggered, then it is as though Mars is there. That is good. But without that, Venus and Rahu are affecting moon. Even then, there is basically eclipse of moon. And where is this happening? In the... See, what is moon's agenda? Moon's agenda is to give emotional stability to the person. Right? And the resources he has available to do that is 9th house of guidance, boss, etc. 9th house was boss, guru, boss, guidance, you get in your career, etc. So those are the resources given to moon, and moon is told, use these resources, put the resources of boss, guidance, professional guidance, etc. to use and give some emotional happiness to the person. When moon is trying to do that, Rahu comes and eclipses him, and Venus comes and says, it's not good, let's change, like that. So basically, as a result, this moon antardasha will make the person think confused basically. It will confuse him. It will rob him of his emotional stability, and he sees his boss as the reason for it. So all these boss problems are because the combination is in the 9th house. In general, forget moon antardasha. In general, is this somebody who will be blessed with respect to boss? Not really. 8th and 9th lord in Parivartana, such a person will never get a good boss and good relation with the boss. There is eclipse of moon going on there is a debilitated moon with Rahu and Mandi in the 9th house. So boss is and moreover, Sun is the Karaka for authorities, right? Apart from house, 9th house, the Karaka for boss is Sun. He is with Saturn in the 6th house of enmity. So in general, is he lucky with respect to bosses? Forget the current boss. In general, this is somebody who will be complaining about bosses, who will have some problem or the other about his bosses. He is not really that lucky with respect to managers. If not boss, boss's boss or manager or somebody, some higher up will be messing with his life most of the time. So this is a thought like that. And particularly when Rahu, Moon, Venus, those periods come, they will accentuate the problem. Now why is he thinking of going back to his motherland in this period? Let us go to, is it possible? Let us look at Chaturthamsa. In the Chaturthamsa, which houses did we say show going back to motherland if somebody is living abroad? 5th house. 5th house is the house of belonging and fulfillment. Usually, wherever you are born, you may be an American, you may be an Indian, but wherever you are born, wherever you are brought up, whichever place you consider as yours, you have an emotional attachment to that place. You feel fulfilled when you are there. Whereas if you go to a different culture, different lifestyle, you don't feel fulfilled. You feel like your roots are somewhere else. So that for that reason, 5th lord shows, he shows patriotism, he shows sense of belonging. He in general shows going back to your roots. So in Chaturthamsa, 5th house is the house of going back to your motherland. And who's the 5th lord here? Moon. So, and he is in Lagna. Lagna shows a new beginning. With respect to Chaturthamsa, which shows residence. So with respect to where he resides, Moon wants to give a new beginning, and the beginning he wants to give is being in motherland. So ever since Moon Antardasha started in August 2008, there would be a strong pull towards India. But the thing is Moon likely to succeed? That is the big question. That is the big question. He is eclipsed by Rahu, who is the 12th lord. So Moon's agenda is to take him to his roots, but from the 5th house, Rahu is the 8th lord. He wants to destroy that plan, and he is 12th lord of staying in a faraway country. And the dispositor Jupiter, he can help, but he is also in Vajrasthana.
He is 6th lord.
Yeah, 9th lord Ketu. More, the 6th lord is not that important. 9th lord Ketu is important. 9th house is again being in a faraway country.
Okay.
So he is with the 9th lord Ketu. And his dispositor Mercury, he is also in the 9th house. He says, let's stay abroad. So the thing is, so many influences are strongly pointing to staying abroad. Only Moon and Saturn are really showing some force towards going back to India. So this Moon Antardasha is unlike, Moon Antardasha will try its best, but is it likely to succeed?
What does Saturn in here influence?
For me, Saturn is,
In here.
yeah,
House.
yeah,
Which is sense of belonging.
Right.
Satisfaction.
yeah.
What does he indicate?
He is the 12th Lord. He is the 12th Lord, right? Being the 12th Lord, he also wants to give the person foreign residence. But being in the house of 5th house, he wants to give some sense of belonging to the foreign country that he is in.
So displacement from the current position also.
For me,
Displacement from the current position.
there is a chance of relocation, but the thing is, I'm afraid this plan of going back to India, if he does it before Moon Antardasha ends, good. Otherwise, this may actually this may not happen.
Yeah, this court case also means.
Oh, there is a court case?
I mean, this person hitting that.
Oh, I see. So the thing is, my fear is, if Moon Dasha, this is running till August, beginning of August, give or take a couple of weeks, errors can be there. There is a few minutes of error in the birth time. So the thing is, once Moon ends, what is the next Antardasha? Can Mercury take him back to his motherland? Very unlikely.
In the 12th house from Rasi.
In the Rashi, he is in the 12th house. 12th is again not really, 12th house is being away from where you belong. And moreover, if you look at the Chaturtha which is specifically for residents, he is the 7th Lord in the 9th house. He is the Badhaka Lord in the 9th house. He only shows staying away in a faraway country, maybe happy, maybe unhappy, but in a faraway country. He doesn't show going back. So Mercury Dasha is unlikely to take back. So the thing is, Venus has some chance because he is the 8th Lord of instability, changes, and he is aspecting the 5th house. And in general, he is Karaka for patriotism, etc. So Venus Antardasha has a chance of letting him go back to India. But the current Antardasha has some chance, but really Moon is not strong enough to push the agenda through. Moon is quite weak here. He is very afflicted. And Mercury, I don't think so. So I am afraid that he may be forced to be here, and then once he is forced, he is already some other things are set in motion, so he can't really go. So my fear is this may not happen. He may continue to be here and continue to show his chart to you.
Maybe because of that, these accidents are happening.
Maybe.
To stay.
Maybe.
Not only that, he has alien accident because Moon is here. And
Right. He has a 7.5 years of Saturn, but that doesn't necessarily preclude him from going back to India. But it shows Rashi, right? Yeah, exactly. That shows he will not have mental peace, no matter what, whether he has accidents or not. This is a period when he will not be that happy. He has 7.5 years of Saturn. Moreover, Saturn is the 8th Lord in the natal chart. And from natal Moon, he is in the 8th house. So from natal Lagna, he is the 8th Lord. From natal Moon, he is in the 8th house. So he has a strong association with the 8th house. Moreover, he is Karaka for troubles. So such a Saturn being in the 12th house from the natal Moon is not a happy period. As a matter of fact, even the next one Saturn moves away to Virgo, that will be even worse. That is not really a good period. So he will be transiting over Badhaka, he will be transiting over Moon, he will be transiting over Ketu, 6th Lord. So he has a rocky ride in the next few years. And the political problems at work will continue during the entire Sandasha. Sandasha is not over yet. And Saturn Antardasha is not come yet. That will be the worst. Sandasha, Saturn Antardasha will be the worst from the point of view of professional tensions with boss, with authorities. So that is the thing. Any comments?
So vehicle accidents because
Okay, vehicle accidents. Let us go to that.
Moon Dasha is happening. So
Yeah.
means,
So Moon Dasha or Moon Antardasha you mean?
yes, Moon Antardasha, sorry. Sun Moon Antardasha.
2.5 minutes. Okay, 1 second. Give me a second. We have a leeway of 2.5 minutes in short samsa. In that samsa we have 10 minutes, 2.5 back. So okay, good. I'm just looking at the possibility that time is inaccurate. Okay, 4 and 10. Okay, good. Okay, let's go to Shodashamsa. Because Shodashamsa is the chart that shows vehicle. Good. So he has accidents now, right? In which dasha? Sanantar dasha? Moonantar dasha. Sorry, Sun Mahadasha, Moonantar dasha. So Moonantar dasha, some accidents are there. Can Moon give accidents? If this oh, absolutely. You don't even have to change the time. He is the sixth lord of accidents. In the Shodashamsa chart, see in the Rashi also, if you see, he is in the fourth house of vehicle, afflicted by sixth lord Ketu. The sixth co-lord, actually stronger lord of sixth, Ketu, showing accidents. He is afflicting Moon in the fourth house of vehicles, right? In the Rashi chart. And from Venus, the Karaka of vehicles, again they are in the sixth house. So there is some potential, and from Venus, the Karaka of vehicles, Moon is the fourth lord of vehicles in the natal Rashi chart. So all these things can suggest some vehicular accidents. Now this is generic. Go to Shodashamsa. In Shodashamsa, Moon is straight, he is the sixth lord. Being the sixth lord, he can show accidents. And he is in A8. A8 is Mrityupada, Arudpada of the 8th house. It is the tangible manifestation of the 8th house. 8th house is lot of upstairs, lot of unexpected events, a lot of changes, roller coaster ride kind of things. So 6th lord in A8. So he is linking 6th and 8th houses, and he is debilitated. So he can definitely, and moreover, you can also see from the Karaka, because Lagna is okay, strong, but Karaka is very strong. Venus. Venus is the Karaka for vehicles, right? Vahana Karaka. From Venus, how is Moon? He is the fourth lord. From a very strong Venus, strong in the sense of he is not really well placed, but he is with lot of planets. Compared to Lagna, he is with more planets. So from Venus, he is the fourth lord of vehicle, and 8th house, Manakaraka Sthana from Venus. So because of that, there can be vehicular accidents. So there are several reasons. There are several reasons for Moon Antardasha being problematic from the point of view of vehicle. So vehicular accidents do make sense. So Shasthayani Dasha, we haven't looked at the other possibilities, Shatabdika Dasha, but just looking at Shasthayani Dasha, Sun in Lagna, it seems to be holding water. It seems to be explaining events quite well. Now the thing is litigation. For me?
No, even the Venus Antardasha will be bad too.
Venus Antardasha will be bad. Why? Why will Venus Antardasha be bad for vehicle? Why?
No, in D16.
Yeah, D16. Why? Why are you looking at Venus? Next is Mercury. Next is Mercury.
See, right now is the Moon running by.
Right, next is Mercury.
Mercury, then after another 1 year is there. Mercury,
Then Venus.
yeah, then Venus.
Okay. Why is Venus bad anyway? Why is Venus is a bad?
If you take the Venus as a Lagna, right?
Okay.
The Moon is in 8. That's why we said that the side not good.
Right. Yeah. Fourth house is the house of vehicle. From the fourth house, he is in the 12th house. So you can show loss of vehicle or spending a lot of money on vehicles. Third house can also show expenditure on fourth house. Expenditure on vehicles, he can buy a vehicle. That is possible in Venus Dasha. But the thing is, from Lagna he is at least Yokaraka. So he is not really as bad as Moon. Moon is the really problematic planet. But Venus is perfectly fine. Mercury is a mixed planet. He is the fifth lord as well as eighth lord. Eighth lord of accidents as well as fifth lord of fulfillment. Fulfillment of emotional fulfillment. So Mercury is not bad. Venus is okay. Moon is the real problematic planet. Mars is again problematic. But anyway, let's leave all that. Let's go to the Shashthamsa to see, because now accident is over. But he said that there is a litigation. There is a court case. How will be the court case? Sixth house is in general for litigation, and 8th house is for big anxieties, etc. The sthanas are bad. Now, Let us look at the Shashthamsa D6 for litigation. In the Shashthamsa, where is moon? Oh boy, he is in 6th house in an inimical sign. Moon is in the 6th house in an inimical sign. So in moon antardasha, getting into some litigation is a possibility which happened, unfortunately. So moon dasha, some litigation came. But the thing is, this dasha is going to be soon over. Is the litigation going to be over so soon, or will it just started? So it will drag on for a while probably. So the thing is, how is Mercury dasha, let us see.
How can you say if you succeed in litigation?
Can moon give success in litigation? Can moon give success in litigation?
Generally, I looked at the natal chart. Mars 6th lord is from Mars.
Yeah.
So he may win over enemies.
Yeah. So he is very strong. So he will get into problems, but he will come out of them. But look at Shashthamsa specifically. See, moon is the 11th lord.
Right.
What is 11th? Fulfillment of desires.
But the 6th house of fulfillment of desires is...
No, wait. Moon has to give closure, fulfillment of desires. And he is placed in the 6th house of litigation, and he will fulfill his agenda of giving fructification of his desires using the 6th house of litigation as the resource. So he will actually give a litigation, but he will make him succeed in the litigation. So in the moon antardasha, there is a chance of success in the litigation. 11th lord in the 6th house is also kind of Vichit Rajoga. So there is a chance within the moon dasha itself, this matter will end. There is a possibility. But the thing is, his planned trip in June, that will probably be postponed, because it does not seem like he will go back to his motherland. So he will have to postpone the trip, but probably he will succeed within the June-July time period itself. We look at Tithi Pravesh to be more sure. But just based on the natal chart, that is what we can say. Suppose it drags on. Suppose we are wrong. Because moon is weak there, he is in Saturnine house, etc. and Rahu's house, and Rahu is aspecting moon. Let us say it drags on. Moon cannot successfully drive his agenda, being in an inimical place. Then, so he can't really drive his case to a closure, and his case drags on because of Rahu's aspect on moon. Then, how is the next antardasha? Mercury. Mercury is Lagna Lord. Lagna Lord is auspicious, and he is in the 5th house of emotional fulfillment. And he is aspecting the 11th house of fructification of desires. So that looks more likely to give success. Even from the Dasha Lord Sun, he is the 5th Lord in the 9th house. So my suspicion is there is some chance that moon antardasha itself will drive this to closure, but it's not probably going to happen. There's limited chance. It's a small chance, and it will probably be missed. So my feeling is it will drag on into Mercury antardasha, but once Mercury antardasha comes, I'm not afraid that he will lose the case or he will have big problems. He will successfully either win the case, or it will be basically settled with reasonably favorable terms to him. So the case is probably going to close in Mercury antardasha. Is it possible that it will drag on further than Mercury antardasha? Very unlikely. When there is such a strong planet in a trine from the Lagna as well as Dasha Lord, that antardasha has to give some blessings. The Purvapunja, 5th house is the house of Purvapunja. The good deeds committed in the previous life. Okay.
Guru is also aspecting moon.
Yes, Guru is also aspecting moon, but he is also Bharata Lord. And he is with Rahu Ketu. When Rahu and Ketu are with Jupiter, and Rahu is the disposer of moon, who will have strength? The thing is, you went to somebody's house, some enemy's house, and you are stuck there. And your enemy is with somebody else, your friend, and they both are together. So your friend is being beaten by your enemy, and then you are in your enemy's house. Who will call the shots? Your friend or your enemy? Your enemy.
Guru indicates liar.
Yes. And also he is a Bhadra Lord. So unseen problems. Right. As a matter of fact, with such a Jupiter aspecting moon, he may not even engage the right liars. He may actually go to a stupid liar, and the liar may unnecessarily make mess and drag the case further and make a few more bugs.
So Guru is also with Rahu and Ketu.
Yes. That is not a good influence. He should be whenever he is dragged into litigation, he may be blessed, no, not blessed, he may be cursed with a bad life. Just like in the natal Dashamsa, Sun is with Saturn, he may be cursed with a bad boss, a sad boss, a boss who is always unhappy. Sun with Saturn in the Dashamsa. Similarly, a liar who wants to cheat and who wants to, Rahu shows cheat. A liar who wants to cheat could also be a religious and very somebody who is very spiritual. That kind of liar is also possible, but more likely some cheat, basically, some crook. He can be stuck with a crook for his liar. But he seems fine. Now let us look at the Tithi Pravesh, the annual chart. Let us look at first 2008 annual chart. When did this accident happen? 2 days back. Okay, very recently. Okay. So the ruler of the year for all art is Mars. The ruler of this year is Mars. 2008 I am looking first. Because 2011 birthday is still a couple of months away. I want to see the incident and see if there is any correction needed in the time. That is why I am looking. Right. So let us look at the short answer. Are we close to a border? 22 seconds earlier. So we are close to a border in this annual chart. So this will tell us if there is a little time error or not. Let us take this Lagna first. It could be Leo, or if the time is 22 seconds earlier, the Shordhamsa Lagna in the D16 Lagna in the annual TP chart for 2008-2009 can be Cancer. Let's see which makes more sense.
2008 is the TP Pravesh.
I did the 2008 Tithi Pravesh chart. I am using Jagannath Hainamsha.
Take 1 minute. 6 minutes, 14 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. You are getting Leo Lagna as well in Shordhamsa? You could be off by a couple of signs also, depending on the...
I was in 6 minutes.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Leo Lagna, right. So 22 seconds earlier it will change with the Jagannath Hainamsha. Now, let us see which Dasha gave the accident. Venus Dasha gave accident. Can Venus give an accident? Is it possible that Venus can give an accident with this chart? Who's the ruler of the year? Mars, right?
And Lagna Lord in 6th actually.
Pardon me? Yeah, Lagna Lord Sun is in the 6th house in an inimical sign. Right. Okay. Can Venus Dasha, can you explain accident in Venus Dasha? Can you explain accident in any Dasha in this year based on the Shordhamsa chart? Does Cancer Lagna make more sense or Leo Lagna make more sense? Why Cancer makes more sense? Tell me.
Venus would then be in the 12th house.
Okay. Forget Venus. Forget Venus, but in general. Right. Very good. Very good. Good point. Which chart makes more sense from the point of view of? For me? Okay. Yeah. Does it make more sense? Yeah. So let's change the time to 9:30. From 7:10, I'll change it to 7:30. Right, and I'll make the Tithi Pravesh chart then. So Lagna is okay. So Lagna now is in Cancer with Moon there. So the 4th lord of vehicle Venus is in the 12th house of loss. So can it explain accident? See, Venus Dasha, let's forget the fact that Venus Dasha gave the result. Is there a strong negative combination showing accident at all? Why that Dasha? We can negotiate it later. Sometimes even a weak candidate can give an event. But the thing is, there's a chart showing a big accident this year. That is what I am looking for. Forget Venus. 4th lord in the 12th can give accident. But why an accident and why so much problem because of it?
So Rahu and Ketu is 11th or 8th lord.
See, Jupiter is the sixth lord of accident. Jupiter is the sixth lord of accident, aspecting the fourth lord moon, Venus. So fourth and sixth lord affecting each other. Is it a good Raja Yoga or Durya Yoga? One Kendra lord and one Dusthana lord is a Durya Yoga. Moreover, Jupiter and Venus are enemies. Moreover, 14th house of vehicle and 16th house of accident. They are like incompatible. So it's not just any Kendra and any Dusthana. It is basically, it is like 10th lord and 8th lord, career and retirement. Similarly, vehicle and accident. So the fourth lord and sixth lord aspecting each other, the two natural enemies. Venus and Jupiter are not really friends. One is the guru of teachers, one is the guru of gods, the other is the guru of demons. So they are enemies. So because of that, because of Jupiter's aspect, otherwise Venus fourth lord in the 12th, that itself is not really capable of giving an accident. So fourth lord is not only in the 12th house, but he is being afflicted by the sixth lord's aspect. Not only that, Saturn and Mars are in the 8th house. Mars is the Karaka for accidents. And Saturn is the 8th lord in the 8th house. He is blessing the 8th house of accidents. Any lord in the any planet occupying own house makes that house strong. So the 8th house is very strong here. 8th house contains Saturn and Mars. And in general, Saturn, Mars or Mars, Rahu, this kind of combinations are very negative combinations. There is a lot of Mars is fire, Mars is hot and Saturn is cold. They are not really friends. They are basically like two bad guys, two thugs who hate each other. So when you basically put them in one room, they will destroy everything basically. They will be very violent. So Saturn Mars combination in the 8th house is very evil. So this year can show accidents, etc. Can show vehicular problems. And they also have half aspect on Venus. But the thing is, Jupiter is also aspecting. So because of all these reasons, Saturn Dasha, Mars Dasha, Venus Dasha, Jupiter Dasha, this can give the incident. And it just happened to be Saturn period. And probably the Antardasha was that of Mars, Saturn Mars.
No, Venus.
Venus Mars. Mars Antardasha runs from 27 to May 1st night. So it's probably the Dasha of Venus Mars. Mars, who is the Karaka for accidents, being in the 8th house in Swaramsa. And moreover, in the Rashi, if you see, in the Rashi chart, Mars is the 8th lord, with Saturn the 6th lord. Mars and Saturn, the 6th and 8th lords are together. So that combination, that evil combination of Saturn and Mars is there in Rashi as well as Swaramsa. In Swaramsa, it has to do with 8th house. In Rashi, it has to do with 6th and 8th. So all round we see tensions, anxieties, worries, big problems for the person. Okay. Now how is it for the litigation? How is this period for the litigation of the person? Why did he get into litigation in this period? Now let us look at the same Venus Dasha. How is Venus in Shashtamsa? See, there can be an accident but no litigation because of it. You just hit somebody, you just exchange phone numbers and then you are done. But here, he is being dragged to a court, all the nuisance. So further, Shashtamsa also has to be bad. In the Shashtamsa, how are things?
Venus in his own house.
Well, Venus is in one house, but he is also the 6th lord. Venus is the 6th lord, right?
He got Aquarius.
No, I got, sorry, I got Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius Lagna in Shashtamsa, Venus is the 6th lord in the 11th house, and moreover he is the dispositor of 8th lord and Badhaka lord. Badhaka lord Mercury and 8th lord Moon are together, again they are enemies. And Badhaka 6th and 8th, these are bad indications. Badhaka 6th and 8th. Any two being linked together, like Badhaka lord with 6th lord, or Badhaka lord with 8th lord, or Badhaka lord in 8th, or Badhaka lord in 6th, these combinations will give troubles, big troubles. Unexpectedly something with this being thrust upon you. So here, the Badhaka lord and the 8th lord are conjoined, that too in the 6th house. So Badhaka, 6th and 8th are all together, all the influence comes together. So Moon and Mercury periods are very bad, and being a dispositor, Venus can give that result. So Venus Dasha, he is being he is being charged with a court case, etc. So this is not really a, see, Mercury under the accident happened in Venus Mars, but Mercury basically came immediately after that, from May 1 to May 12, and Mercury is the Bhagala Lord in the 6th house with the 8th Lord. So basically Venus Mercury can give all the notices, legal notices, etc., all the formalities basically. This is the period for formalities. If there is a chance of success, Venus can give some success in the litigation because he is in the 11th house. Venus is the 11th Lord also, and he is in the 11th house. So he can give some satisfaction of desire, he can give some closure. But looking at the natal chart, that seems unlikely. You can't conclude just based on the Chief Pravesh chart. This is on top of what is shown by the natal chart. So this is the differential with respect to the natal chart. So it's unlikely. But there is some chance in the June 7, June 21 period. So if there is any hearing at that time, good luck to him. That is a good period. He should do his best then. Otherwise, Sun period. How is Sun period?
Sun is the 8th lord in 9th.
Sun is the 9th Lord in 10th. So Sun is the 9th Lord in 10th, and 9 shows authorities, right? 9 shows Guru, but also in this chart authorities, government. So he is in the 10th, but he is aspected by Rahu and Ketu. So it shows dealing with authorities, but not really that favorable because Rahu and Ketu are still aspecting him. Moreover, Mars is also aspecting. So a lot of negative planets are aspecting, so it may not be that successful. But let us look at, this year is going to end soon. Let us look at how the next year, 2009. June 30, 2009, 4:35:11 p.m. is the birthday. The Hora Lord is Mercury, he is the ruler of the year. By the way, the current year ruler of the year is Mars, and he is the 8th Lord in the 12th house. So this is a year of tensions. In general, forget the dashas, in general this is a bad year. How is the next year? Oh boy, this is not good either. So Mercury is the next year's ruler of the year. He is the 8th Lord in the 7th house. Is that good? Not at all. 8th and 11th Lord, he is a functional male figure, Papi. It can cause problems in marriage also, 8th Lord in the 7th house, but we have to see Navamsha also. But 8th Lord in 7th is also a Maraka. There is a danger to life with the 7th Lord. 8th Lord and 7th Lord together in the 7th, danger to life is also possible. So this is a year when there is some danger to life, but we haven't seen the Markadashas etc. in the natal Rashi chart. We have to go back and see it, because based on the Tithi Pravesh chart, there is a chance. Now his angle is marriage, there can be problems. Can there be problems in marriage? Well, in the Navamsha, Mercury is again is a Papi, is a functional male figure. 8th Lord with Bhadra Lord moon. So 8th Lord and Bhadra Lord together, and affecting Lagna Lord Ketu. Not at all good. So marriage, there will be, he is married, right? Oh, he is married, you too, he's right. So marriage, there can be some problems. There can be some problems with wife, and there can be some health problems or some serious accident or some danger to life is also possible. Now let us go to the separation from spouse is a possibility. Now let us look at the Dashamsha, why not? Dashamsha, again, Mercury is the 8th Lord in Dashamsha also, and he is afflicting 10th Lord Sun. Not really good in career. I'm sorry. It's not good for career. Let's not be specific. It's not good for career this year. Now let us look at Shashtamsha. How is this year for the litigation? See, ruler of the year Mercury is the Bhadra Lord with the 8th Lord. See, Bhadra Lord and 8th Lord are again together. So not really good. And they are in the 4th house of Sukha. So they are robbing his Sukha. But let us look at the Dashas. Which Dasha is best capable of giving him success in the litigation? Can Venus give success? Yes. He is in the 11th house. But he is also the 6th Lord. What about Jupiter? Jupiter is the Lagna Lord in the 5th house aspecting Lagna. Can he give success in the litigation? Yes. Right?
How is it connected to litigation?
I'm looking at Shashtamsha. He is in the 5th house of emotional fulfillment and Purva Punya. He is aspecting the 11th house of fructification of desires. So, and he's Lagna Lord. So he's a good planet. And Rashi, if you look at the Rashi, he is the fifth Lord in the fourth house. Fifth Lord in fourth house will give some kind of sukha, some feeling of okay, things are fine, some sense of direction in life. Fourth house is the house of direction, relief. It is the house of comfort, happiness, relief. So some comfort is possible during Jupiter Dasha, right? So, and how is Sun? Not great, because in Shashtansha he is in the Badhakasthana. When Sun is in Badhakasthana, when the Lord of Nine showing authorities is in Badhakasthana, authorities may not be for him, authorities may be against him. He will not get any relief from authorities. Moreover, in the Rashi, Sun is in the 8th house. It can show fevers, it can show health problems. Moon, well, he is the 8th Lord in Shashtamsha with the Badhaka Lord. Hopefully, major hearings should not be in that period, because that is not a good period. Mars.
Actually, from the natal, we said around August time frame we will get relief.
But that was a 1 year Antardasha.
Right.
So it can be, it doesn't have to be August, it can be September, it can be October, it can be December, it can be next February. So that is why we are looking at annual chart to fine tune it. So Moon very bad. Mars, can Mars give success? Well, he is the 5th and 12th Lord, he is basically a benefit, functional benefit, and he is the 5th Lord of Purapunja, aspecting the 5th house, aspecting Jupiter. So he can give some, his Purapunja will come into play, and then he can give success. Moreover, if you look at the Rashi, he is the Lagna Lord and 6th Lord in the 6th house. He is giving Harsha Yoga, 6th Lord in 6th house. So he can give. When the 6th Lord is strong in the 6th house itself, he can give. He can make the person crush the enemies. So Mars Antardasha, which is basically September period, there is a good chance of success. So Mars is a good possibility, Mercury is not great, Saturn is not great, Jupiter is a strong candidate. So most likely the case will close in September, he will have a favorable result in September. If not, worst case, it will be end of this year or beginning of next year. Jupiter will put it to full closure. But the thing is, in the Mars period, even though this, from the point of view of case things may be fine, in general, because Mars is giving Harsha Yoga, he will have lot of obstacles to overcome during that period. He will have lot of problems, but he will have a sense that I can do it. Previously he is like, oh my God, can I do it? In Mars period, he will have that fighting spirit and he will be fighting. But Jupiter is the one who will finally give him a sense of happiness. He will make him think, okay, now I know what I am doing. Now I have some control over my life. This is what I am doing. Maybe suppose he can lose his job, but then he can figure out what to do. Actually, let's look at Dashamsha. In the Dashamsha also, Jupiter is the 5th Lord in the 4th house. So in many charts, Jupiter is quite well placed. So my feeling is the case may close earlier itself, but until Jupiter Dasha comes, he will have some tension, some worry, some sense of I don't know what I am doing, that sense. Once Jupiter Dasha comes, he will feel more comfortable with his life. He will be more relaxed. So Jupiter is really key Dasha for him. Now let us look at the natal Rashi chart. Let us simply go back to the Shasthayani Dasha. What is the Dasha running we said? Sun. Is he a Marka? Not really. Third Lord in Lagna is not really a Marka. So there is no danger to life. Right?
Which one you are?
And natal Rashi chart. Because in the Tithi Pravesh chart we saw 8th Lord in the 7th house. It can give various problems, but that is one possibility. When the 8th Lord is in the 7th house with the 7th Lord, that is a possibility, and he is the ruler of the year. There is a danger to mortal life also. So I want to see the natal Rashi chart. So Sun Dasha is unlikely to kill a person, because Sun is not really a Marka in this chart. But let us look at the Vimshottari just to be absolutely sure. Because Shasthayani may be showing other events, but it may not be showing the death that well. So let us simply turn back to Vimshottari to see death. Is a Marka Dasha running right now? Jupiter Dasha is running. Is Jupiter a Marka? 7th Lord with the 2nd Lord and aspected by Rahu, male fix. He is a Marka. And the Antardasha is running right now is Moon. Moon is over, Mars is running. Is Mars a Marka? Not really. He is the 6th lord in 6. He is not really a marka. From Jupiter he is the 8th lord, but again from Jupiter he is the 3rd lord in 3rd. He is not really a strong marka. So there is no concern right now. He may be fine. So let's not worry about his longevity, but otherwise career, marriage, there will be some problems this year. So good luck to him. Can you recommend any prayer to him before? We'll just spend 1 minute and we'll close. For the litigation, can we recommend any devatas?
Actually, I suggested him Valli Subramanya or Lakshmi Narasimha.
Valli, Subramanya, Lakshmi Narasimha. Okay. Why? 6th Lord Mars is in the 6th house. He will be a fighting spirit, and Mars house Hanuman, Subramanya, and Narasimha. Excellent choice. Okay.
And there was some combination of Venus, Moon. They are giving some charts, some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So I added female deity.
Okay.
To
Good thinking. Any other thoughts you have? Another way you can.
I looked at it in different angles
Mhm.
and different charts totally.
Mm-hmm.
And the results also close. Like I kind of predicted, I mean maybe not true.
Yeah.
August, around the end of the August we may get the relief based on the
Mhm.
top ticket
Good.
star.
Mm-hmm.
And,
See, the thing is, another thing is when multiple dashas like Satyayani, Shatabdika, etc. apply, don't think that only one dasha will work. One dasha will show it better. But the thing is, it is as though there is a room. There are different windows to the. There are different windows, glass windows to the room. One window is clean. Another window has some dirt, so you can see through it, but it's hazy. At another window has even more dirt, so you can try to see through it, but you can't see exactly what's going on. You see some shapes, but you don't know exactly what's going on. But if you have good guessing ability, you can see even through a really dirty window and see exactly what's going on inside. So the thing is, when multiple dashas are applicable, conditional dashas, some dasha is like a really clean window. Some other dasha is like a messy window. So the thing is not like, even Vishwapri, if you go back and try, it will make some sense. The only thing is, one dasha will be like a messy window. So Visha Satyayani seems to be very clean in explaining the known past. So we are sticking to it and then making predictions based on it. But the thing is, other dashas will also be working. So don't worry too much about that. As an explain, actually you can see when he got married, when he started job, when he consulted, all those based on Shatabdika dasha started from moon and Shatabdika dasha started from Lagna. And then see if they make sense. Because they should make sense. Now another thing you can see is the Gnatikarka is Sun. All the enemies, rivalries, litigation, etc. is from Gnatikarka. Right? Gnatikarka is Sun. In the Navamsa he is in Sagittarius. From the 6th house, in the 6th house from Gnatikarka, because that is the center for seeing litigation, etc. So that is Taurus, containing Mercury. So Mercury shows Vishnu. So Vishnu's avataras are, Vishnu's avataras are better for giving litigation giving relief from the litigation. So that is using the Charakarka. Just like we do 6th house from Amatyakarka for work, similarly 6th house from Gnatikarka for fighting the litigation successfully. So Vishnu's avatara, so out of Subramanya, Hanuman and Narasimha, Narasimha seems a better choice. And let us quickly go to the Sasthamsa. In the Sasthamsa, what's going on? Who gave these problems? Moon gave these problems, right? Moon gave these problems, and we expect who to solve the problems? What is the Antardasha next? We said is good. Mercury we said is good, right? So again, Mercury is the favorable planet in the Sasthamsa. So, and he is in the 6th from Gnatikarka in Navamsa. So both that also shows Vishnu. So Vishwasnamam, or specifically use Mars and also Mercury and come up with Narasimha. So your suggestion of Narasimha is perfect. So if you read any Narasimha mantra, that will give some relief.
I suggested him that Ugram Veera Mahavishnu.
Jalantam Sarvatamukam, that will be good. If you can do that mantra, and also let him do the Bijakshara Kshram. Ksha as in Kshatriya, Rakara under it, Ksha, Au as in Aushadham, Kshram. So Kshram Bijakshara, if he meditates with the Bijakshara, and then meditate for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and then read Ugram Veera Mahavishnu mantra. That should give him some energy to cope with all this litigation.
He has Grahamalika also in that Rashi. From
Yeah.
Rahu to Sad.
Nah, Grahamalika is not really with Rahu. If you exclude Rahu and still have it, then it's interesting. So if you exclude Rahu, you just 3 planets. So there is no Grahamalika. Just forget it. Okay, so with that we will end this class. So good luck to your friends. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatim Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamasravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Ana Shrunvannutibhissedasadanam. Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namah. Om Vrishabham Charshaninam Vishwarupamadabhyam Brahaspatim Varenyam. Om Tadvishno Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayah Divi Vachakshura Tatam. Om Shlim Dhrim Jyotirbrahmaya Namah. Hare Rama Krishna Hare Rama Krishna Hare Rama Krishna. Okay, we are in the ninth Lord.
Ninth Lord in 60 row.
Ninth Lord in the first half of the zodiac. Okay, so ninth Lord in the 7th house. Okay, we are on page 221, chapter 24 in Santanam version, verse 103. Okay. Bhagye se dara bhavasthe dara yoga sukhodayah gunavan kirtimas chapi jayate dvidasaptamah. Must be dvidasaptamah. Bhagye se dara bhavasthe. If the ninth Lord is in the 7th house, Dara Yoga Sukhodaya means,
Happiness from
Dara Yoga means after marriage. By marriage, Sukhodaya means he will beget happiness, etc. Happiness and prosperity. So basically marriage will bring him good results. Gunavan Kirtimas Chapi. Gunavan means good character. Kirtimas Chapi, famous also. Jayate Dvisatma. Oh, great Brahmin, such a person will be born. So basically there isn't much. One is marriage will bring happiness. The other is he will be virtuous and famous. Okay. Why will marriage bring happiness? Why is marriage going to bring happiness? Yeah. So first of all, marriage is blessed. The marriage will be a blessed marriage. He will be happy. And if one has a happy marriage, one will be happy basically. Marriage is a very important source of happiness. So from that point of view, but in addition you can actually say, even though he said Sukhodaya, he probably meant something like Bhagyodaya. In other words, he's not just talking about comfort, buying a new car after marriage. He's in general talking about life being better off after marriage. So basically fortune blossoming more after marriage. Marriage basically bringing fortune. Is there a possibility? The ninth Lord of fortune, ninth Lord is also fortune. He is in the 7th house of marriage. So it is possible that marriage will be the one. Once he gets married, marriage is the one that will unlock his key to luck. It will basically bring him luck. So that is also a possibility. Marriage can bring luck to the person. And why is he Gunavan and why is he Kirtman? First, Gunavan. Why is he Gunavan? Well, how do you see the character of the person? Character? Right? Very good. And where do you see the sense of dharma of the person? Ninth house. Yes. Ninth house is the house of dharma, sense of balance, sense of right and wrong in each person. So the Lord of that house is in the seventh house of interacting with people. So he brings dharma, his sense of dharma, to his interactions with people. And he is affecting lagna. So that affects the basic nature of the person. In general, when you are looking at character, the most important house is ninth house. Ninth house shows the character of the person, because character is basically sense of dharma. And secondly, lagna, because that is the nature of the person. And here ninth lord is affecting lagna, and he is in a kendra, he is in the seventh house. So he is basically a dharmic person, a very virtuous person. But why is he famous? Kirtimas chapi, he says. Why does he have fame? Where is fame coming from? What house do you see fame in? 10th house is the work that you do, but what is fame? 5th and 10th. Very good. Okay. So do you see anything interesting with respect to those? Anything interesting happening? So the 5th house, yeah. The 5th lord is in 3rd.
No, from 6th lord in the 3rd house.
Yeah. Why is he famous? Why is fame a possibility in this case? Right? Right. A9 is in 5th house. A9, what is A9? It is a tangible manifestation of one's fortune. So things that make people think, oh, he is so lucky. So such things, such tangible things, those are what are shown by A9. And such A9 is in the 5th house of following. So the thing is, the person can have good following, which will make people think, oh, how lucky he is that he has such kind of following, or such kind of fame, such kind of reputation. So when A9 is in 5th house, there can be some fame. In general, wherever A9 is a very good Arudpada, it's a very auspicious Arudpada. It is actually Bhagyapada, showing your luck, the articles of your luck, the startings of your fortune. So whichever house it is in, you will be seen to be lucky with respect to those matters. If A9 is in, let's say, 4th house, is it possible? Probably not possible. But if it is whichever house it is in, basically the matters shown by that house, people will think you are lucky with respect to. Now let us go to the next verse. भाग्ये से मृत्यु भावस्थे भाग्यहीनो नरो भवेत् ज्येष्ठ भ्रातृ सुखम नैव तस्य जातस्य जायते भाग्ये से मृत्यु भावस्थे. If the ninth lord is in the 8th house, bhagyahino naro bhavet, such a person will be devoid of fortune, no luck, unlucky. Jyeshtha bhratru sukham naiva. Jyeshtha bhratru sukham. Elder brother sukham means happiness from. There is no happiness from elder brother. Tasya jatasya jayate. Such a born person will have. Okay. So the basic results are bhagyahinaha and then jyeshtha bhratru sukham na. There is no elder brother happiness from elder siblings. That is one thing. The other thing is, he is bhagyahina. He is unfortunate. Why is he unfortunate? Well, the ninth lord is in 12th from the ninth house. So he is unfortunate. Period. What else? So that makes sense. Now, why no elder brother? That is a googly. How do you see elder brother from 3rd or 11th? He specifically says not bhratru sukham, jyeshtha bhratru sukham.
I was thinking that it could be any brother.
No, but he specifically said jyeshtha bhratru. So for elder brother, elder siblings, what is the house? He is right. 11th house, right? So 11th house. So with respect to 11th house, what is going on? Why is it a problem? basically the planet is the 11th lord from the 11th house. 11th house is siblings. And what is the 11th house from 11th house? It's basically Bhavat Bhavam. It is the 11th from the 11th. So Bhavat Bhavam from any house is important for seeing the matters of that house. So if you are seeing the longevity, for example, 8 from 8 is 3rd, so 3rd is important. Like that, Bhavat Bhavam is important to judge any house. So when you are judging elder brothers, the 11th from 11th, that is the 9th house. So 9th house will show the fortune with respect to elder brothers. So the lord of that house happens to be in the 8th house of setbacks, anxieties, tensions, and also depraving. 8th house is in general the house of depraving. So it is possible that there will not be any elder brothers. Yes, absolutely. So in general, such a person may not have lot of friends also, unless there are other interesting combinations with respect to 7th and 11th houses. The next verse is Bhagye se bhagya bhavathe bahu bhagya samanvitaha guna saundarya sampanno sahajebhya sukham bahu. Okay, this is all good results, obviously, as you can guess. If the 9th lord is in the 9th house itself, bahu bhagya samanvitaha, he is endowed with bahu bhagya, lot different kinds of fortunes. He is endowed with different kind of fortunes. Guna saundarya sampanno. Guna means virtues, good qualities, character. Saundarya means beauty. So he is virtuous and he is good looking, he or she. Sahajayabhya sukham bahu means there is a lot of happiness from brothers and sisters and siblings basically. In general, happy with respect to siblings. Okay, let us pause this. First, why is he very fortunate, highly fortunate? Well, 9th lord in the 9th house. 9th house is the house of fortune. Lord of any house in the same house is very good, especially a trine lord in trine. Awesome. So he is very fortunate. Of course, very dharmic also, potentially. Guna saundarya sampanno. He is virtuous. Well, 9th house is the house of virtues. It is the house of dharma. So he is very dharmic and very sadguna sampanna. But why is he saundarya sampanna? Why is he beautiful? Why is she pretty or why is he handsome? Why is he showing good looks? Yeah. How do you see looks from? Lagna. Well, with respect to Lagna, the 9th lord is in the 9th house. So this planet is protecting the 9th house. So basically the basic constitution of the person, the health of the person, the looks of the person, all those are being protected by the 9th lord in 9th. So in general he will be healthy, he will have good looks, he will be healthy, he will have a strong constitution. Sahajebhya sukham bahu. Like we said earlier, with respect to the 11th house, elder siblings, the Bhavat Bhavam is 9th house and the Lord is in the same house. But he doesn't just say Jastha Bhratru, he says Sahajebhya. Basically, younger siblings also. In general, very happy with respect to siblings. Why? Well, from the 3rd house, with respect to the 3rd house as Lagna, the 7th lord in 7th house. What does 7th house from 3rd house show? Interacting with siblings, right? So the person will interact with siblings very well. So, moreover, if you look at the A9 is in the 4th house from 3rd house. 3rd house is siblings. 4th from 3rd is happiness from siblings, the comfort with the siblings, comfort in dealing with the siblings. And of course also comfort of the siblings. So that house has A9. So in general, siblings are happy and he is happy dealing with the siblings. And he not only has siblings, but he is attached to them, in the sense he deals with them a lot, because this planet is in the 7th house. The planet is in one house in the 7th house from siblings. So the thing is, he has a good relation with his siblings and he is talking to them a lot. It's an active relationship basically with the siblings. In the 6th house from Lagna, right? Okay. So the bottom line is, right, this is not like ninth lord being in the sixth house. This is A9 being in the sixth house. So whether it's a Dusthana or Susthana, a good house or a bad house is irrelevant. What is relevant is A9 is in that house. So whatever that house is, with respect to that house matter, you will be seen to be lucky, a very lucky person. Seen as a lucky person. So the thing is, if you have lot of enemies, will you be seen as a lucky person? Not really. So sixth house is the house of crushing your enemies. Having enemies and crushing them. So the thing is, such a person, because he has A9 in the sixth house, when it comes to overcoming obstacles, people think, oh, what a lucky person he is. So the thing is, he will not have any enemies, or even if he has an enemy, his enemy, he comes to fight with him, and in the way he has an accident and dies. Things like that basically. So he doesn't even have to fight. All his fights are so easily dismissed. He may have a big lawsuit, but then there will be a mistrial and then judge may say, forget it, there is no case. Things like that basically. He is so lucky because A9 is tangible luck. So he is so lucky with respect to sixth house matters. Of course, sixth house is not just fights, quarrels, litigation, etc. It is also uncles, etc. So he is very lucky with respect to uncles also. So remember this, ninth lord tries to give fortune. His agenda is to give fortune. But depending on where he is, he will have to act within those limits. So the thing is, if he is in sixth house, he may have to actually fight in order to get fortune. But Arudhas are different from lords. Arudha A9 is a tangible material, tangible article showing his fortune. Something using which people are going to say, oh, how lucky he is. For me? Okay. Why? Not necessarily. You can see from Lagna. If you see from Lagna, from Lagna, sixth house is the obstacles that he has to, the fight that he has to put. The fourth house from Lagna is the happiness that he has. Now the thing is, when people are judging it, people's perception of it is from the Aru Lagna, like you said. The fourth house from Aru Lagna is how happy he is in people's opinion. And the sixth house from Aru Lagna is how well he fights in people's opinion. But the thing is, the sixth from Lagna is the actual fight that he is putting up. And if the A9 is there, people will say, with respect to the fight that he is actually putting up, he is so lucky. What a lucky person he is. He doesn't have to even go to the court to fight his case. So there was a case, but the person died. The person was killed by somebody else, so there is no case. Things like that basically. The next verse is भाग्ये से कर्म भावस्थे जातो राजा तथा तत्समः मंत्री सेनापतिर्वापि गुणवान् जनपूजितः भाग्ये से कर्म भावस्थे. The ninth lord is in the 10th house. Jato, a person born like that. Raja means king. Raja atha tatsamaha, or equal to that. Somebody equivalent. King or an equivalent. Mantri, Senapatir Vapi, or could be a minister or a commander-in-chief, etc. Of course, these days, minister, king, commander-in-chief, all are basically integrated. All of them, or some of them are integrated in the same person these days. Gunavan Janapujitaha. Gunavan means he is virtuous. Janapujitaha means he is respected by people. Okay, let's pass each of them. Again, basically, you can see one basic thing. This is a good result. This is not surprising. This is probably even better than ninth lord being in the ninth house. Because now, the ninth lord, instead of trine lord being in trine, he is linking trine to a quadrant. That too, the most important trine to the most important quadrant. So it is obviously, it's not dharma karma yoga, but it's equivalent to that. It's basically some link between dharma and karma of the person. So it is very powerful combination. Now, bhagye se karma bhavasthe. Okay, the first result is Raja Arhatasma. Either a king or a minister or a commander-in-chief or somebody equivalent. Bottom line is somebody with a very big status, big stature in the society. Why? 10th house is your stature in society. The ninth lord of fortune is there. So somebody with big karma, somebody who does big things. So somebody who has a big stature in the society and he is engaged in important karma. important work in the society. Of course, he doesn't have to be king, commander-in-chief or minister. He could also be a respected person in the court of the king, a good scholar or some good bureaucrat is also possible. But bottom line is, he is a respected person. He has a good position. That is the bottom line. Gunavan, he has a good character. Why does he have a good character? Why does he have a good character? Well, the ninth lord of character is in a quadrant, so he is strong. If the lord of any house is in a quadrant, that house is strong. So basically he has a good character. Moreover, compared to the previous combinations we have seen, he is in the 10th house of actions in the society. So he not only has good character, good dharma, sense of dharma, he will put it to use in terms of the work that he does in the society. He plays an active role in the society, fulfilling his dharma or promoting dharma. And what else? Janapujita, he is respected by people. Why? Why is he respected by people? Well, 10th house is honor in the society. 10th house is the following you have, and the 10th house is the honor that you command from people on account of your deeds. So, 9th lord of fortune being there means you engage in good deeds and you command respect from people. You command honor. 10th house is the house of honor. Saraswati uses the word mana for that house, which means honor, respect. The next word. Bhagye se labha bhavasthe dhana labho dine dine bhakto gurujananam cha gunavan punyavanati. Bhagye se labha bhavasthe. The ninth lord is in the 11th house. Dhana labho dine dine. Day by day he will keep getting money. A lot of profits. Day in and day out he will get profit. Bhakto gurujananam cha. Bhakta means devoted. Gurujananam means to gurus and elders. He is very devoted to elders. Gunavan punyavanati. Gunavan punyavanati. He is virtuous and also punyavan. Punya means he does a lot of punya, lot of good deeds. Okay. Now why? Why all these things? First of all, why fortune profits day in and day out? Well, the ninth lord of fortune is in the 11th house of gains. So fortune comes in terms of gains. So by day he means it's not like one particular dasha he suddenly becomes fortunate. He means in general he gets lot of profits. So a profitable life. Now why is he bhakto gurujananam cha? Bhakto gurujananam cha. He is devoted to elders. Why is the devotion to elders? Devotion to elders and gurus and teachers. Yeah? Swami? Yeah, 9th house is the house of gurus and elders in general, yeah. So, the Lord is in the 11th house, so. Well, one thing is, if you take the 9th house, right? First of all, he is the 9th lord. So he shows the sense of dharma, the sense of right and wrong. Now, from the 9th house as Lagna, which shows elders and gurus, this planet is in the 3rd house. What is 3rd house? Of taking some initiative. So the thing is, this person is taking some initiative with respect to elders and gurus. So he engages in some work for the gurus and elders. You understand? He is in Kamatrikona, the 3rd house of desire, 3rd house of initiative, for the 9th house. So relating to the 9th house matters of dharma, elders, gurus, words of elders, words of gurus, father. With respect to all these things, this planet is in the 3rd house of initiative. He takes initiative for those things. So the thing is, when we say devoted to guru, we are not talking about somebody who goes and sits at the feet of guru and does namaskar every day. What we are talking about is somebody who does things for the guru. If guru says you have to build a temple, he will go and collect money. If the guru says you have to spread astrology, he will go and enroll people for astrology classes. Or if the guru says You have to develop a program, a software program. You will write and you will start writing a software program. Like that basically. If Guru says you have to do this, you will actually, if Guru says this is a good thing to do, you will actually start doing the thing. That is what we mean, that is what Parashara means here by devoted to Guru. So he is so devoted to his Guru that he engages in action. He basically takes initiative in fulfilling whatever his Gurus or elders basically want to do. He is committed to that. Gunavan, why is he virtuous? Why is he virtuous? Well, the ninth lord who shows virtues of character and dharma has Argala and Lagna. Lagna is the basic nature of the person. So there is a link between ninth house of dharma and Lagna, the nature of the person. So he not only has good sense of right and wrong, but it is part of his personality. Some other people may know right from wrong, but the thing is, it may not be part of their personality. Here he has Argala and Lagna. So that sense of dharma forms his personality, forms his sense of self. So he will be a very virtuous person. Moreover, the A9 is in Lagna. So the thing is, what is Lagna? It is basic personality of the person. So the thing is, the character of the person is very strong. And Punjavanati, of course, he engages in Punya. He is a very righteous person. Simply because the ninth lord is having Argala and Lagna. And the Arudha of the ninth house, which shows the tangible, which is the tangible manifestation of one's luck and also dharma. The tangible articles which will make the world think, oh, he is so dharmic. Those are in the Lagna, so those are in his basic nature. So the basic nature of the person is such that the way he conducts himself, it will seem so strongly to people that he is a very dharmic person. So he is a very virtuous and righteous kind of person. So this is also good. Basically, ninth lord being in 9th, 10th and 11th is basically a very good combination. Now let's look at ninth lord in the 12th house. It will have mixed. Sorry?
Good deeds, because he said he will do good deeds.
Yeah.
So that means good karma.
Yes, good karma. And again he has Argala on the 10th house. Ninth lord has Argala on the 10th house. And also 11th house is the house of friends. And also it has secondary Argala on the 7th house. It is a trine from 7th house. So he will be interacting with people a lot compared to the other combinations. Now, going to the last one, 108. Bhagyesho, okay, Bhagyesho vyay bhavastho, bhagyahani karo nunam, shubhakarye vyayo nityam, nirdhanoti sangamat. Okay. Bhagyesho vyabhavastho. If the ninth lord is in the 12th house, in the house of expenses, bhagyahani karonunam, such a planet will cause bhagyahani karaha. He will cause bhagyahani. Blow to one's fortune. Such a planet will bring loss of fortune. So if the ninth lord is in 12th house, it is not great for fortune. It will actually cause loss of fortune. Shubhakarye jayaha. For auspicious deeds, he will spend money. Expenses on account of auspicious activities. Nityam, always. And also, nirdhanoti sangamat. Nirdhanaha means poor, ati sangamat. On account of being together with guests. So basically, on account of entertaining guests, he will become poor. So he may have a lot of money, but he loses money by entertaining guests, and also he spends a lot of money on good things, on auspicious and dharmic activities, and in general he may have loss of fortune. Why? Now ninth lord, the lord of the house of fortune is in 12th house of loss, so he may lose a fortune. That is a possibility. The second thing is, of course, it is also possible that he will make a fortune in a foreign country. 12th house is also the house of foreign countries. But he doesn't talk about it here. We will talk about what he talks about. Shubhakarye vyaha. On auspicious activities he will spend money. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it is very clear. Ninth house is the house of auspicious activities and dharmic activities. So for dharma, he will spend money. 12th house is the house of either spending or losing or investing. So he will invest money or he will spend money on dharmic activities. He may build a temple or something like that. If you are looking for a donation to build a temple or something, if you find somebody who has 9th Lord in 12th house, he is a very good candidate to go and ask compared to somebody else. Compared to somebody in 9th Lord 11th, for example. The next one is Atisangamar Nirdhanaha. He will become poor by entertaining guests. Why will he become poor by entertaining? This is basically a more extreme form of whatever was said earlier. He will basically spend a lot of money on dharmic activities. So to entertain guests, to construct temples, to construct inns, etc., to do a lot of charity work and good dharmic work, he may spend all his money and even become poor. It may go to the extent of making him poor. So that is the bottom line. So this is just an example. Entertaining guests, especially in the old days, if anybody comes to your house, you entertain them, you feed them, you give them whatever they want. So from that point of view, he is saying, Atithi Devo Bhava. Bottom line is, you guys are laughing. The bottom line is, see somebody who has it, you have it. You do spend a lot, okay. Okay. That is why you are laughing. I thought you were laughing at those idiots. You were thinking those people are idiots and laughing. I'm sorry then.
For me, ENI is involved, so
that is not bad. So you have 9th Lord, yeah, if you have 9th Lord in 12, the ENI will also be in the 12. Yeah. Okay. Okay. At least there is some. Yeah, if you feel a stronger, but both will give results. Weaker will also give results, but stronger will give results stronger. And the bottom line is that is actually not a bad combination at all. You see, even though he says poor, etc., bottom line is somebody who can actually let money go, let things go on account of dharma. Because letting anything go is very difficult. I mean, the highest thing is letting the ego go. Forget yourself. That is the highest thing. But if that is not possible, at least let something else go. Like give up your money, give up your clothes, give up something, some property basically. So being able to give something is a great thing. After all, it's a moksha trikona. So the thing is, if you are doing it on account of dharma, 9th house, it is even better. So basically, you are making progress with respect to dharma and moksha. So that is a good combination. Okay, so with this we will end the discussion on Parashara for today and we start the recording. Okay, we'll see an example chart. This is the chart of Srinivas Kovi. Every few months we keep seeing his chart. Unfortunately his house hasn't sold yet, so we'll see his chart again. 1955, September 1, 5:32:58 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 5 hours 30 minutes east of GMT. Machilipatnam, India, 81 degrees 8 minutes east, 16 degrees 10 minutes north. So the issue is basically what is the focus, house, selling house, and also he is considering relocating back to Boston. So that, and the third one is job basically. They are expecting more layoffs at his company, right? Okay. So the thing is, he went to North Carolina sometime last year, and then there were a few layoffs. He survived a few rounds of layoffs. There is one more layoff round expected next month. So he is wondering how his horoscope is and whether there is a chance of layoff. And also he is wondering if he should come back to Boston because he couldn't sell the house. So he is living in an apartment there, whereas he wants a house here. So we'll see. Let us see what is the dasha. First let us see the nakshatra dasha. So is any special dasha applicable or is it just Vimshottari dasha chart? Vimshottari chart, right? So let's go to the Vimshottari dasha.
and time also more or less accurate.
We'll just assume it now. We won't explain again and again and again. Okay. Okay. So Lagna and Moon are actually together. If you use the Chandra Vimshottari dasha, The Dasha running right now. This is what I remember. That there was a Dasha change in the middle of this year. And I saw his chart in December when I went to Natkarana. This is what I remember. Okay. So, he is at the fag end of Saturn Dasha. Saturn Dasha is running till 2009 July. 25, give or take a couple of weeks. So, he is running Saturn Jupiter right now. And the thing is, how is Saturn Jupiter? Actually, more importantly, how is Mercury Dasha? How is Mercury Dasha for him? Mercury is the 8th lord and also the 5th lord. And 8th lord is exalted in the 8th house. Right? Mercury is exalted 8th lord in the 8th house. Mercury is at 6 degrees, Lagna is at 2 degrees. Okay, so 8th lord in the 8th house. He is the lord of AL in a quadrant from AL. He is the lord of also A8 and A9. So 8 is a little problematic there, but at least AL and A9 are together in a trine from Lagna. And their lord is Mercury. So that is good. And Mercury is exalted in one house, that is good. And he is a functionally neutral planet. So overall, what is your sense? Forget that he is in big trouble right now and he is very unhappy right now. But what is your honest take on the Mercury Dasha? Okay, 8th house is sadhana, so she is saying he will do more sadhana. Okay, right, good. So first of all, 6th house is the house of mantra, 8th house is the house of sadhana. So it is definitely a better house, better dasha for spiritual sadhana. Moreover, if you look at the Navamsha, Mercury is the 9th lord of dharma. In the Navamsha, he is the 9th lord, right? And how is he in the Vinshamsha? He is basically the 6th lord and 9th lord. So he is basically the 9th lord and in the 12th house of moksha. So 9th lord in 12th is actually very good for spiritual sadhana. So 9th lord in 12th in Vinshamsha and also 9th lord aspecting 12th in the Navamsha. So he shows lot of sadhana. Of course, it may not happen as soon as the Dasha comes, but once Mercury Dasha settles down, during these 17 years, he will do a lot more spiritual sadhana and make lot more progress. That is one thing. The other thing is, materially also, is this a bad Dasha? Well, Aru Lagna Lord, in a Kendra from Aru Lagna, this can't be a bad Dasha. Even from Lagna, 8th Lord in 8 is Kala Yoga. He is not afflicted by any other planets. He is not afflicted by any other planet. There is Papakartari, yes, you are absolutely right. There is Papakartari, Mars Sun on one hand and Saturn on the other hand. Yes, I was coming to that. Saturn is Lagna Lord and he is exalted. And Sun is in one house. Mars is in a friendly house. So Sun and Mars are actually in a friendly house or one house. They are quite strong. And Saturn is also quite strong in exaltation. Sun and Mars are in Agni Grahas in Agni Rashi. Saturn is Vayu Graha in Vayu Rashi. So they are all quite strong basically. So the Kartari from them is not really that much of a problem. It's not really a big deal. Now, what else is going on? So we should expect Mercury Dasha to be, he is afflicted by Gudika. That's the only problem. But Gudika is on the border. Maybe he is in the other side. We don't know because we don't know for sure. There could be a little error. So let's ignore Gudika. In any case, there is a big gap between Gudika and Mercury. So pretty much Mercury is unafflicted. Nobody is really aspecting him except Moon. Moon is the only planet aspecting Mercury, right? Graha Drishti I am talking about. And the aspect is actually very close. Oh, that's interesting. So actually 6th Lord Moon is having Graha Drishti on 8th Lord Mercury. So that is a partial Viparita Raj Yoga. It's not really that bad. So overall Mercury is quite strong in the Rashi chart. Now how is he in the Dashamsha? So materially he will be fine. For wife also, marital life also fine. Spiritual life fine. How is his career? Service wise, he is in the 6th house. He is the 8th Lord in the 6th house. Is that good? It's Viparita Raj Yoga. It's Viparita Raj Yoga. And 6th Lord in the 6th house. That is Dhimanta Yoga. Right? 6th Lord in the 6th house. So it is basically, it's not a bad combination. Especially for Mercury to own the 6th house and to be in 6th house is not bad at all. So he is okay. He is not great, but he is okay. Comparatively, Saturn is even better. He is Lagna Lord in a Kendra. And he is in Arul Lagna. Lagna Lord in Arul Lagna. So Saturn Dasha in general is better. But Mercury Dasha is not bad at all. We don't really see any big fall. But being the 8th Lord, he can basically give retirement in this Dasha. But there is, I am not saying immediately, sometime basically in the Mercury Dasha, there is a chance of retirement. but we don't see any big setback like losing job and unable to find job. Things like that do not seem likely. So basically,
Still not over.
it's not over. It's not over. But we are focusing on Mercedes to see how long-term future is or medium-term future is. Now Saturn Dasha is still running at the time of next layoff. How is that time? Saturn Dasha, Jupiter, the Antardasha is running, right? Jupiter is in Bhadrakasthana. He is the 2nd and 11th lord. He is okay for finances in the profession, but he is in Bhadrakasthana. There can be some problems sometime in the Jupiter Dasha in career, some tensions. Pardon me? From Aru Lagna, he is a benefic in the 6th house, not really auspicious. Now, so it shows basically it's not really auspicious. Now, what is the Prachantar Dasha? The Prachantar Dasha running right now is Rahu. Rahu Prachantar Dasha. Can Rahu Prachantar Dasha give a layoff? Is there a possibility of layoff? Well, from Aru Lagna he is in 12th house. For Rahu, 12th house from Aru Lagna is good for a male sex. For me? No, materially. Materially, Rahu in the 12th house, Aru Lagna is a Rajoga. But Lagna Lord is in the 3rd house. Lagna Lord can show a new beginning. And 3rd house can show a temporary break. Some kind of leave from work. Or a contract kind of things can be shown. More importantly, the bad thing is from Jupiter. From the Antardasha Lord. If you take the Antardasha Lord as Lagna, from Jupiter, Rahu is, first of all, he is an enemy of Jupiter. Second of all, he is in the 7th house. Is 7th house good for continuing in service? Not really. 7th house is the house of break in service. It is the marka from 6th house. So unfortunately, this Rahu is in the 7th house from Jupiter. So in Jupiter, Rahu, Prachantar Dasha, there is some potential for, there is some cause for concern, bottom line. And also Venus Sukshmanta Dasha will run during June. And we don't know the exact Sukshmanta Dasha at the time of event, but assuming at the time of layoff, Venus Antardasha will be running, Venus will be the 2nd and 7th lord from Rahu. So taking Rahu as Lagna, Venus is again marka of job. Even Ketu actually, right? Ketu, whose period runs before Venus, he is in the 7th house. 8th lord in the 7th house is a marka. So unfortunately, it's not very favorable. So there is a potential in this particular period. There is a potential, but thing is, with the amount of astrology that we know, we are not really confident to make predictions just based on Nishatri. Of course, even when we use the other techniques, we are not that confident for this kind of prediction. But let us see other techniques to see if they actually negate these indications or they strengthen them. Let's look at the annual Tithi Pravesh chart, 2009. When was he born? Sorry. Adhika Bhadrapada Purnima and not, okay, Bhadrapada Purnima, very good. Okay, so the annual Tithi Pravesh chart was on 2009, oh sorry, it was on 2008, right? Okay. Is it still Bhadrapada? Okay, very good. So, the Tithi Pravesh chart was on 2008, September 14, 7:24:58 p.m. Indian Standard Time. The divisional chart may differ. Oh, you are saying that it is the same. You are right. Excellent. Very good. Very good. So we can confidently use the Samsa then. Very good. So she confirmed that the time we are getting is 7:24:58 p.m. But this is using Lahiri Ayanamsa. The version of Jehora that is on this computer doesn't have Jagannath Ayanamsa, which I prefer for the divisional charts because it can change based on Jagannath Ayanamsa. But it is confirmed that earlier Zegaru checked using Jagannath Ayanamsa on her computer earlier before coming to the class, and she says that Dashamsa Lagna is the same. Okay, so the Rashi has Pisces Lagna, Dashamsa has Gemini Lagna in the Tithi Pravesh chart. And let us see who is the Hora Lord. Mars. Mars is the ruler of the year. Okay. Let us see the Tithi Ashtotri Dasha. The Tithi Ashtotri Dasha running right now is Moon, but we don't know exactly when the layoffs are scheduled. But in June, the first week of June is Moon, and later it is Mars. Oh gosh. Okay. I know. Mars is in Manakaraka Sthana, in the 7th house. More importantly, he is the 6th lord in 7th house. 6th lord shows service. 7th house shows loss of service. So 6th lord in 7th house shows loss of service. And he is the ruler of the year. And his dasha is running from June 8 to July 4. So if layoffs are during that period, there is a strong likelihood that he will be on the list. So it is unfortunate. So that is bad. But what is the dasha then?
Ruler of the year should do favor to the person.
Not necessarily. Depends on what his agenda is. Depends on what his agenda is. Ruler of the year means somebody who has the biggest say. Whether he will use that say to do good or bad depends on whether his agenda is good or bad.
Actually, I see this like he is in 7th house and aspecting Lagna.
Yeah.
And 10th lord in Lagna, so he may give new beginning. He may initiate some business.
Well, Mars in the 7th house can give business, but the thing is he is 6th lord of service. So he is not giving outside business also. He is not like 3rd lord in 7th or something. So the thing is, there are some negative indications. So basically the month of June is actually quite risky. Moon period is quite risky. Sorry, not moon, Mars. Mars period is quite risky. Now the thing is, Saturn is good. Mercury period that will come next is okay actually. Because Mercury, even though he is in the 8th house, he is Lagna Lord and with the 5th Lord. So Mercury being with Venus, is basically he can give a new beginning, he can give a new job, but 8th house can show with a change of place or with a relocation or with some setback or just something unexpected, because they are in a friendly sign. Venus and Mercury in the 8th house are in a friendly sign. Their disposition is in the 9th house of fortune. So the thing is, this Rajyoga can suddenly, unexpectedly happen. He may lose job, but then suddenly something may work out. He may get it back or he may get another job. So it's a good idea for him to keep his resume ready, just in case. Just in the case he is on the list of layoffs. It is a possibility, distinct possibility based on the chart. Now, Saturn Dasha is very good. Mercury Dasha is good, Saturn Dasha is good. So immediately after this, signs are going to be not bad. And 2009, how is the 2009 Tithi Pravesh chart? Do you remember if the 2009 Tithi Pravesh chart, you don't remember? The Dashansa Lagna is accurate or not? Okay, so let's not look at that. Now the thing is, relocation. Is there a possibility of relocation in this annual chart? Coming back to Boston, he wants to come back to Boston. Is it a possibility?
On account of job.
On the account of job or whatever.
A4 is in.
Now in the Mercury Dasha, Mercury is the Bhadga Lord in Rashi chart. He is the 7th Lord in 7th house. He is with the 9th Lord, he is the dispositor of the 9th Lord, he is also dispositor of 8th Lord. So 7th, 8th and 9th Lords are there. 9th house shows foreign journey or going to a faraway place. Bhargasthana shows again big changes, and 8th house shows instabilities. Right? And in the Dashamsha, they are in the 8th house of potentially a job change with a change of place. Now let's go to Chaturthamsha finally. In the Chaturthamsha, as per the Chaturthamsha, how are things? Again, Mercury is the dispositor of he is the 7th Lord in the 7th house in Bhargasthana. He is the dispositor of the 12th Lord Mars, right? So there is some potential of change of place in the Mercury period, as actually Mars period also. In Mars and Mercury period, based on Rashi as well as Chaturthamsha, there is a possibility of house change of residence, change of place. But let's go back to natal chart. Is it indicated in the natal chart at all? See, Mercury is the Saturn Dasha, Saturn Jupiter. Saturn Jupiter has already given a change of place. Let us look at, so definitely another change of place is a possibility, but let's focus on Mercury period. How is Mercury period? Mercury is in Rashi as well as Chaturthamsha, he is the 8th Lord. 8th Lord in the 8th house, so he can give a big change of place. So Mercury Dasha, once it comes in late July or August time frame, there is a chance of change of place. So it is possible that he will change it is possible for him to lose his job, and also it is possible for him to change his job. There is a possibility.
And even please be there for the possibility.
Pardon me?
You have to see his house selling also. So selling of his house.
We will leave that until that becomes necessary to see. Okay.
So because we will see.
Yeah.
You are in the chart, so I was looking at
Right,
it.
right. So the thing is, it seems to me like there may be a change of place again for him, and it also seems to me like there may be a problem on the career front. So he should keep his resume ready and also send his resume around, and also he should not make it known in his group or to people in his workplace that he is actually considering going back to Boston, because if they know that, it is an easy reason to put him on the layoff list. I mean, I'm not speaking astrologically, practically speaking, because the chance of being laid off is so high, he should put extra effort not to get laid off. So don't do anything that will make him an easy target for layoff. Like, don't basically tell people that you are considering going back to Boston, etc. Then you will have to go. You will have to do that. So there is a good chance of layoff, so take it easy. Be prepared for it, but at the same time do your best to avoid it. Is there any propitiation that you can suggest? Any remedial measures? Let's go to Navamsha. Who is the Amatyakarka? Atmakarka is Jupiter. Amatyakarka is Saturn. Bharatkarka is okay. So Amatyakarka is Pakka Saturn. Okay. So Amatyakarka is Saturn. From Amatyakarka, who is the sixth lord? Sixth lord is Mercury, but his sixth house contains Ketu. So Ganapati is, he can pray to Ganesha. Ganesha is one. Also Mercury, even though for Mercury we say Vishnu, Mercury shows Prithvi Tattva and Ganesha takes care of Prithvi Tattva. So both together basically Ganesha will do. But in addition, the Dasha starting soon is Mercury. The Mercury Dasha is starting soon, right? And if you look at the Dashamsha, Mercury is in the sixth house. So I suggest Vishdhasnam. Suggest to him to chant Vishdhasnamam with a Samputi-karana. Basically use the Maya Bija, Hrim Bija. It will be basically like Hrim, Vishwam Vishnura Hadkaro, Bhota Bhavya Bhotrabhu, Bhota Bhota Vridbhavo, Bhutatma Bhutvavana, Hrim, and then next verse. Like that basically, Hrim at the beginning and then Hrim between everywhere. Actually not like that, we will add Om also, don't do just Hrim. Do Om Hrim. So Om Hrim at the beginning, Hrim Om at the end. So Om Hrim, Vishwam Vishnurva Hadkaro, Bhota Bhavya Bhotrabhu, Bhota Vridbhavo, Bhutatma Bhutvavana, Hrim Om, reverse now. In the beginning Om Hrim, now Hrim Om. And again say Om Hrim, the next verse. So like that every verse before Om Hrim, at the end Hrim Om. If you do this, this is a powerful Samputi-karana. So like this, I recommend doing every day like this. At least once, if possible 3 times. Starting from now onwards, this will hopefully help him not get laid off, or at least if he gets laid off, find something immediately. Because the times are actually quite bad. It is very difficult to find jobs now. So do Samputi-karana at least once or possibly 3 times whenever possible, on days on which there is some time, do 3 times. So do Vishdhasnam every day, any time, morning or evening, Vishdhasnamam, and then Ganapati will be very auspicious, doing Ganapati Mantra, Ganapati Homam like that. So those are the things that I will recommend to him. And bottom line is, I can say this, see the thing is, in the Saturn Jupiter Antardasha, he had to go through a lot of instability in life. Saturn is basically, Jupiter is in the 6th house, and also from Dasha Lord he is the 6th Lord. So basically there is some instability, some problems to be overcome. So for whatever reason, lot of changes happened in life. And Mercury Dasha may bring some more changes, but my strong expectation is there will be stability in life. Once Mercury Dasha starts, there will be some initial instability, but after that there will be stability, and also there will be a clear direction. He will be quite happy in the Mercury Dasha. It is a very good Dasha for him. Also he will start paying more attention to spiritual matters. So this is a very good dasha. Only thing is the transition, the sandhi period, the transition from one dasha to another dasha, a few months or a year or so on either side is a little problematic in this particular case, because one planet is the 8th lord and the other planet is the Lagna lord. This sandhi is a problematic sandhi, but he will do fine. Even if things seem really bad in the next few months, my advice to him is not to worry too much, because things will eventually settle down. He will do quite fine. Mrityu Dasha will be a good Dasha. It is also a very good Dasha for learning astrology. His astrology learning, probably there was a break. Probably this Dasha will be, coming Dasha will be good for learning astrology. Or even if he is there, he can learn astrology better. He just need to get inspiration from inside. He will be a better astrologer in this period. So all the best to him. He has a couple of months of 2-3 months of challenging time ahead of him. Hopefully he will take the right decision. But do Vishnu Sahasranamam and Ganapati. So
he won't A6, 8, dispose of 8.
yeah.
So there are some
Yes.
ups and downs.
Those things are also there, but he is also A5 lord in A5 and he is A5, AL and A9. So it's not a dasha that you see him go down basically. It's not a dasha that will basically tear down everything that he built. It's a dasha where basically things will start to work out and he will find a new direction. He will find a new direction in this dasha. So all the best. And yeah, Vishnu is very important. As he enters the Mrityu Dasha, Vishnu is very important for him. I think he started doing Satyanarayana Vratam every Purnima a few months back. He's been doing for a year or so now. Every Purnima he's doing Satyanarayana Vratam, which is very auspicious. But also reading Vishnu Sahasranamam every day will be very, very good for him. So all the best, Srinivas Garu. All the best. Take care for the next couple of months. So with that I'll end the class today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti